Man, I don't know where to start. I've just decided to walk away from home and come and record a diary. But they have not done a diary for about 2 weeks. So I decided to just come and do it. And of course, for a reason. I'm here. By the way, I have many things to talk about. Only that the place that I had chose to come and record, there's a football match that is going on here, this field. Let me actually record. You can see this called Talents Ground. It is near Revival Church. So here's the field that I was supposed to come and record. It seems that I have to sit down and watch. I'll have to sit down and watch. I don't know where to record the diary, because I honestly need to talk about some things here. I have a feeling that something's up already, or something's already done. I needed to keep a recording. Man, I was lucky when I just came near the field is when the match ended. But there are still some people on the field. You can see behind me. Where is it? Oh my goodness. I need to bathe, man. My skin is peeling off, and in not a so good way. So that's the field behind me. But my focus is not on that. I did not come to watch the match. I came here specifically to talk about some things. I said in the last diary that for a very long time, I'm in a farm somewhere, by the way, a farm that is near the ground. I specifically mentioned that it will be for a very long time that I will not record anything in the streets of YouTube. Okay, considering that I post these videos on YouTube, so or even these diaries on YouTube. Therefore, I have no, I'm trying to divert whatever is happening in my mind. I've stayed at home for a very long time that my mind has just started to clog in a way. When you're not walking, when you're not exercising, you find yourself not thinking, not thinking beyond. There's no diversion of thoughts. That's the point that I'm trying to drive. I don't know. I need to. Anyway, and for a very long time, I think almost 2 weeks. It's almost 2 weeks that I've not recorded any diary. There's something that is particularly, I don't know, that has become prevalent in my mind for the longest time. Like, I keep on thinking about this thing each and every minute, each and every day. And it's about somebody that keeps on recurring in my mind. Like, each and every fucking time, I try to avoid thinking about them. And the more I try to avoid thinking about them, that's when I find myself thinking about them more. By the way, let me honestly say this. I've never been attached to any human in that manner. I've never had any bond, in fact, any attachment with any human being like that, which I'm going to talk about. And I think in the last diary I mentioned that we broke up, although it was very, I'm going to address the issue, okay, in this diary. I'm going to talk about whatever is happening in my mind now. What am I really saying? Okay, what I'm trying to say is we okay, I felt that we broke up, but in an amicable manner. However, on my side, I didn't see it coming. We just broke up for some reasons, and for reasons that I cannot understand. I felt that it was not it was very unfair. It was just abrupt. To this day, my mind is just trying to, you know, to accept to accept the fact that we broke up. My mind is not yet convinced that we broke up. It's like, okay, did we really break up? And it's because this person who, I think you all know her name. Today I'm gonna be just open and say everything and even mention people as they are. Rispa. Her name is Rispa. I had connected, I had such very strong bonds that I became, obsessed, obsessed with them in a way. And that's actually what resulted to us breaking up. It was my fault and I accepted my mistakes. Yeah, I was pushing her away. It took a manifestation to bring her into my life, and it took again. That's why in my last video I talked about detachment, and I think I've learned a great lesson. If you're manifesting something, manifest it, but when it comes, please don't be obsessed. Okay, by the of late I've been receiving these videos from, I don't know, TikTok or something, and it's actually reflecting on what I said on my last diary, that want something, desire something, however, don't be too obsessed with the results or even waiting for the results. Wish, desire, manifest, and then let it go and forget that you ever did it. But I found something just particularly unique about this case. Yeah, I have manifested things and they have come into my life. However, there's a way that ever since I started interacting with people, even my first GF, my second, was it a second one? I got into a relationship in the mind with another one, but I'm not sure it was a relationship. But I've never been obsessed with anyone like that. It reaches a point that you cannot remove them out of your mind. I'm trying so hard, but this is something that I'm struggling with. I'm really struggling to do away with, like removing this person from my mind. I became so obsessed, I put them away, and after I break up, I'm not yet over with them, because I felt it was a bit unfair. In a way, it was a bit unfair, because yeah, I could have agreed to a breakup if they felt that, I'm not trying to say that I'll let things go. What I'm trying to say is that thing was so abrupt that my mind doesn't believe. And I've never struggled with attachment issues like this particular case, bro. I don't know. They keep on recurring in my mind, and I want to get rid of that. By the way, as I was thinking about this, I was like, by the way, what if there was a medicine or even there was an injection that could delete everything? Like, I'm talking about deleting the memory, like the memory part of the brain. You delete a certain part of your life. Like, you'll never remember that you had an attachment to this person. Like, if I could be asked which part of the memory that can be deleted, it is this part where I met them, I enjoyed the relationship, and from the intimate moments, before actually the intimate moment, I think that part should be deleted to this point where we have broken up. Okay? And now my memory, that memory should be picked and discarded. And there, um, although it might not make sense, because in that memory there were many things that were happening in between that I need to take the lessons. There are things that happened in between that, bro. If there was a way of doing surgery and removing certain parts of the memory, or even a certain person in your memory, I could have done it a long time ago. Delete it, like delete. But my mind is not yet, or it's not convinced that we are not yet. I keep trying, but every time it's just. So yeah, that's what's happening. That's what's happening. I'm struggling with that. That's why I took a walk to just look at nature, try to divert. Of course, I have been able to divert the attention. If only I could have something to just keep me busy and not think about anyone else or even anything in particular. I think I could appreciate maybe some work here and there. Maybe someone tells me to, gives me some form of work to keep me busy, or else, however much I'm trying to get a formula to just delete some things that are happening in my mind. I can't believe, like, every time that I sit down, I keep on remembering this person for some reasons too. Man, trying to even poke holes into the friendship, the time that we have been together. Now, I think I leave that aside for a moment. Let me talk about something else. So, I don't know how the universe works. I think, to me, the universe is just the system that was set up by God Himself, to keep things in check instead of Him now checking things, every time. Now, TikTok has been feeding me with videos. I've been actually been getting some videos in my FYP that that keep on revealing to me what is happening in my life. Yeah? Yes, was it yesterday? Was it yesterday or even on Friday? I came across this video. I don't know, there's a person behind me, that's why I'm walking to this place. And I'm walking fast. Okay, that's the reason why I don't like recording while at home. There are people all over. You can't do things in peace. Now, I get this video on my FYP that talks about seasons. At first, while watching it, I was like, what is this person saying? I decided, okay, let me just save the video in my phone. In my phone's, let me jump this hoop. It hoop already. So, I get this video in my FYP that there's a certain season where and wait, did I talk about Wamboidon video? Okay, I'm also going to address it. Now, I particularly came across this video and I listened for a moment. I was like, there's this season where there's a shift, and by a shift, it's like I'm talking about you're graduating from one level of life to another, and there are signs that are going to occur to you, to give you a hint of what is really happening. Now, there's a season where, okay, every man has their season, okay? And by a season I mean, like, do you see that when you come out of primary school or even elementary school, you graduate to high school, you know, that transition? That's what I'm talking about. I've used that example to just give a context of what you know, phase or even a season of life in a someone means. Now, this person talks about the seasons and the signs that you are in that your season is ending. And for a moment, I didn't get what he was really talking about. I was like, by the okay, let me just save the video and leave it there. Ah, and I went ahead to just look at other videos while it is saving, and it got saved. So I was talking about the video. So um, hmm, to get my just point home, he was talking about seasons, and I've talked about elementary school. You're proceeding from primary school, maybe kindergarten to primary school. You see that transition. Is what the guy was talking about, or perhaps maybe high school to even college. That transition, that moment of transition where nothing is happening, okay, but you are being graduated to another level, a higher level. You know, you cannot be promoted. So essentially what is happening is just you are being graduated, and while at it, you will discover that there are things that are going to happen in your life, and you can take this to the bank that anytime this is prone to happen, you will receive some signs. You will get that there are things that will just shut down. Whatever you are doing in your life will definitely, in a way, be shut off. Okay, you are going to lose even some people. He gave an example of Joseph. Joseph, while he was in, you know, while he was, I think I'm gonna sit down. I hope the lighting is good. Yeah, the lighting is good. So he gave an example of Joseph while he was in, was it in Egypt? While he was in Egypt, he was promoted to another level by the king. You know, by then the king, the pharaoh, And in that moment is when he lost some people. He had to leave some people in that, in that phase. I understand that this is not just a phase. It's a graduation to another level. And another graduation to a level of life, a higher level of life. Therefore, there had to be some shift. There had to be some change in his life. He had to leave some people. Very important people. Okay, they are, the guy is talking about, and in fact, I'll attach the video as I'm editing this video.
So how do you know that a season is over? So when a season ends, one of the things that you'll realize is in that season kuna vitu zitaanza kupotea. So when a season is inaisha, utakuta you'll start losing the people God gave you for that season. For example, if you're in a waiting season, you'll have people who are just supporting you, but they cannot go to the full extent to your dreams. For example, when Joseph was in prison, he had people who were with him. And there were just people who were supporting him. Like he was just leading the people, even the winemaker, even the bread. Those were just people in that season. But when their season was over, what happened is he got elevated to the next season. That is what happens pia na sisi. Inafika kwa hii season ambao uko wewe na season imeisha, kuna watu wataondoka, watu ambao hawafai kuwa, watu walikuwa wakikusupport. Even relationship, what I mean, majority of relationships will die at that level. Na hizo relationships zinapodai, that means hiyo season imeisha. Your season imeisha. You'll start hating. Another thing you'll really start hating the things you're already accustomed to. For example, kwa katika a certain season of dryness ama season of waiting, ama hiyo season huko, maybe you're so accustomed to kukula omena sana na sukuma wiki. It reaches now a place you start unaanza kuchukia. What you made a norm for that season, you start hating it. You start hating the kind of life that unaanza umeizoea. You don't hate because that you hate it because hakuna another alternative now, but now you start hating even the type of people you're associating with. You start hating the norms, the vitu zilikuwa joy kwako, vitu zilikuwa ukifanya unafurahia. Some of you hata labda, how do you know your alcoholic season is over? You start unakunywa unasikia there's no taste in that alcohol anymore. Unakosa taste maybe in dating na kila kitu. Unakosa taste in everything. Unaanza kufeel tasteless to things that bring you joy. That means you're already in your season inaisha. And how do you, hizo ndio vitu now you realize. The other thing, unaweza jua a season imeisha ni when battles now become strong, when you uko kwa warfare, because the battle is becoming strong because you're being elevated to the next level. So for wale ambao wana move from a season of waiting to a season of abundance, you realize after your normal scene for long, kutakuwa na battles zingine heavy, kutakuwa na vita, kutakuwa na pigwa, every part of you itakuwa inapigwa vita. Na ikipigwa vita, for you, kwa sababu you are not accustomed to war, because you are accustomed to things being normal, like ziko kawaida, if it is bad luck, if it is relationships. Now what you realize katika hiyo season ya that uncertainty and that warfare, you just need to pray God to preserve you and to give you the grace to overcome the war. Kwa sababu hiyo warfare inakuja inapigana na your destiny to the next stage. You'll realize even the day to your destiny, the day to your breakthrough, the day your breakthrough yako, you'll not know. Ukiangalia Joshua Selman anasema vizuri, even you will wake up normally, it is your normal day, but that will be the last day maybe you are living that life. That will be the last day you are doing some things. That will be the last day and you won't know. So kutakuwa na warfare, unakuta maybe utakuwa na ugumu fulani, financially things will become so bad for you, and your breakthrough moment imetokea, you're supposed to go, maybe umezoea the breakthrough to your job ndio that it ndio hiyo imetokea, and you don't have the transport, you don't have even airtime, you don't have even means, you don't have even food, you don't have even the right clothes, you don't have chochote. And then because umezoea hapo zamani, umezoea zikifail, this time itakuwa ina happen and you'll still be thinking it will fail, but kutakuwa na a certain urge for you to go and do it. and that is one of the things sasa inamaanisha that season is coming to an end. The warfare inapigana to the next season. Another thing that you'll start realizing when a season is coming to an end, just look at around nature will tell you. You'll start seeing things that are not happening. You'll start seeing normal as things open doors, ama utaanza kuona creatures you have never seen. Creatures too, utaanza kuona birds you have never seen, trees you have never known. You have started enjoying things that you never used to enjoy. Maybe you're an indoor person, you start loving outdoors out of nowhere. You start just loving outdoors, just loving meeting people. That is also a season that is coming to an end. So nature will speak, and you'll be keen enough to realize when nature is speaking. Another thing that will make you realize that a season is also coming to an end, utakuja kurealize, is when you start unakuwa na roho poa tu ya kupeana. Usikii wivu, you don't want chaos, you don't want wars. Wewe labda ni mse aggressive, umezoea kuargue, umezoea nini. When a season comes to an end, when the dust settles after the warfare, you realize una nguvu ya kubishana. Uko na roho tu ya kupeana. You have a giving spirit. Unachukua vitu zako, you're sharing with the needy. You're sharing advice. You're just sharing your journeys. And you are still pale, things have not changed yet in your life, but you're now sharing out to people. So you'll realize you are sharing a lot of things to people, advice, clothes, food, your money. Tutakuwa na urge sana ya kupeana, giving out to people. That also shows you're in the right place, your season inaisha. That's the reason why you have an urge to give. You'll be free, yani. Hivyo. You don't want battles, you don't want wars, you don't want anything. Uko tu huru. Hiyo pia it's another sign that the season is coming to a close. The other thing is a season is coming to a close is you not know your next move, but you're still moving. So you are really waiting, but you don't know your next move. And this is not the season of waiting. So unakuta things are working, and because umezoea they don't work right, ama for long, ama things are working right, but now there's something that is coming up, you'll not see it. Your breakthrough moment, you don't see it. You don't even define it. So breakthrough moment in the next season, you don't see it way vile itaka. So that is one thing. And then even when you are already in that season, isha change, you realize you'll be accustomed to cover your survival tactics. So kama ulikuwa survival tactics, you bring your survival tactics to a season that doesn't need survival tactics. Utakuwa na urge to pray more. Utakuwa na urge also to pray. You really pray God to open. You really pray, and you are really praying for so many things. Maybe you'll pray for the nation. You'll have a burden for the nation, a burden for your family, a burden for your generation, a burden for your kids, a burden for yourself, a burden for your spouse. You just an urge to pray. That means also a season is coming to an end. You're sharing a new season. That's the reason why you're in prayer mode. The other, you realize you'll become more gratitude. Thank you. Utaki vitu vingi. Hiyo season of ile season imeisha, another season is being ushered. So you are gratitude for that season. Apart from hizo, there are so many other things iko hapo ndani when define a season is coming to an end. And may the Holy Spirit guide you. May give you the grace to understand. May give you the chance to walk with him. The other thing most important na tunafaa tujue is may the Holy Spirit come into us. May he become our friend. May he guide us. May we feel. Another also season coming to an end, before I forget, is utakuwa lazy. You're just lazy. Maybe you're feeling sleepy. You have no urge to do anything. And it's not depression. This is also a season that is coming to an end. That is umeanza kurudi chini. The normalcy imeanza kuisha. Now there's a new norm. So there's a peace in a reign. You want to be lazy around. You know urge to do things, but you are really your heart and like it. That also means you're a sign that the season is coming to an end. May the Spirit help you. May the Spirit guide you, and may we fulfill. Thank you so much.
Because I need to compress it. I cannot. I cannot upload the video while it is at 10 GB. Where will I get the internet from? So. And in fact, I'm going to get a Wi-Fi around here. Yeah, I'll get a Wi-Fi. Okay, fine. I remember that we used to live here. It's called Mastima. It's an estate that is near the KPLC station here that's why it's called Mastima. The KPLC station. KPLC is local electricity provider in Kenya, which enjoys monopoly. Anyway, let me not divert. I digress. Now, so Joseph, while he's in Egypt, he had to leave some people. Some brothers. He had to leave even his friends. He had to leave some things that he was doing so that he can be promoted to another nini. When you are progressing or when you are jumping from one level to another, there are things that you cannot continue to do while you are in the next phase, or even when you are in the next level. Things have to change. They say that change is the constant in the world. Like, it's very true. You'll always have change. Now, that is an example that he gives. He continues and explains that in that phase of life, you usually feel lazy. By then they mentioned the now. See, I downloaded the video. And I came back to my phone gallery and I was like, there's a video that I was not getting the nitty gritty. I'm not understanding it to the details. And now it happened that man, can't they find another place to just feed their cows? Look at this. There are cows that are heading to my direction. I have a feeling that they will be bothering me. So, but I cannot continue recording while someone is watching. That's insane. I cannot do that. And it's about to rain. The clouds are grey. So, let me continue. Let me just continue. Let me just ignore that there's no person here. Now, he talks about the video. In fact, I watched it the first time in my phone gallery. But after a day or two, I'm like, let me go back to the video again. Let me rewatch it. I watch it complete. It's about almost 8, is it 8 or even 10 minutes? In fact, I'll upload it here. Okay, by this time I have uploaded it. I have attached it. I watched it the first time and it finishes. Now, there's something that actually catches my attention. He says that you will feel lazy at this point. I'm like, by the moment that he finishes talking in this video, I'm like, fuck. It reminds me of a video by Wamboy Don. This is a lady who keeps on talking about life, mostly spiritual matters, in her TikTok page. It reminds me, there's this phase of life that when you are transitioning to another level, some things are going to happen. Or even when you are manifesting something, you are going to receive some certain signs. Signs such as nothing for you is working. 1. Number 2, things are going to be taken from you. Literally nothing is going to work for you, and you'll be put into a forceful, a forced rest. Okay, where you are needed not to work anymore. And it happens in various forms. You find that there are people who are going to jail. I was thinking about this when I was coming to the field. There are people, you'll find that they are going to be put into jail, maybe 1 year, maybe 5 months. It's because they need that rest where you're not doing anything in your life. Or let me perhaps talk about someone who is in hospital or even in a coma. They are going to be put into a coma for almost 6-7 months because that's the break that they needed before transitioning to the next level of their life. It all depends on your life circumstances. Mine was just come home, and figure it out. And since I'm spiritually aware of myself, and I'm aware of what is happening around, I was like, okay, I think this is a season, or even that part of life where I need to not do anything, just relax. I even stopped even reading books every day. I usually am an avid reader of books, but it reaches a point now I need not to bother myself with many things. And I'm comfortable talking about this because I didn't know what was happening until I got the revelations from the videos that I'm in that phase of forceful rest where I need to rest. It's literally eating, drinking, and sleeping. That's it, and minimal work to just keep you fit here and there. So that's the point. Now, Wamboy Don talks about that. You'll be put into forceful rest. Like you can't resist it. You must. Maybe you are carrying out a business activity or you own a business. You'll find yourself not having clients. Let me actually get into the forest right now. Yeah, you will find yourself not getting clients. You're not getting customers. The business is just almost shutting down, going into probably even losses. You're not getting any clients. That's the point.
When something big is coming into your life, or something is being created in you, or something new is coming to you, you are first placed in a phase of resting, sleeping, relaxing. That is mandatory, whereby nothing is working in your life, nothing is moving on. This is a phase whereby maybe you're a young person, you did your degree, your diploma, you're looking for a job, and you tarmac for a whole year, 2 years, nothing is happening. That's like a still mode. And then you get a breakthrough after. And the longer the rest, the longer the manifestation or something is being created in you, or the bigger whatever is coming it is. Now, most people don't understand there is a resting phase in our lives, and we have time for everything. As much as we have time to hustle, there are times you are forced to take a rest for creation. There are times you are just supposed to be resting, but of course we're living in a society and economy whereby we always feel the need of the state of being in an emergency situation. You're supposed to be working, you can't be idle, you can't be oversleeping. I think that's how we grew up. But in real sense, when something is being created in you, there are times you are placed in a rest mode. I will give a biblical example, and I will give another one for which most of us women can relate, and even men can relate, because it's about a pregnant woman. And I will let you know why. Before your manifestation come through, before your breakthrough come through, nothing usually works. You just want to sleep, you just want to rest. And people who know that you don't have a job, they're wondering, how can you sleep the whole day and you don't even have a job? But your body just feels like sleeping. Now, in the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 12, this is when God is already has created everything and Adam in it. And he thinks like this man needs a companion. And he puts Adam to sleep to create Eve. So God put Adam to sleep to create Eve. That is how most of us, we are put to sleep. Sometimes it can be literally, especially for spiritual people. You just find yourself dozing off. You can't tell where it's coming from. You can't tell why you just switched off. You just dozed off. I don't know if it's just me or spiritual people. You just find yourself, you just switch off at times. So whenever something is being created in your life, there are times you placed in a sleep, and it's like a sleep that is uncontrollable. You just feel like your body really needed that rest. And equally, even you who when you're looking for a job, when you're looking for a contract, even when you're looking for a soulmate, maybe when you're healing. And I think this sleep is associated with healing because you have a lot of energy. There's some work going on in your life. So when you are praying for that job, when you're praying for that contract, you are placed in a resting period for the energy work, for the creation work to happen. Now, let's talk about the energy when a woman is pregnant. I did a video and I said when a woman is pregnant, she has a lot of creation energy, and this is why women tend to achieve most things when they are pregnant. Anything they manifest, it is easy for them to get that time they're pregnant because the energy is high. So this kind of creation energy is usually high to a point whereby it makes you just shut down. So for a woman, when a woman is pregnant, they just fall asleep. They just want to sleep. They just want to rest because they are being forced to rest because something is being created in them. The emotions are high because the energy is high. There is the energy of creation. It is high in this person. So sometimes the feelings are high. They are angry. They are happy at the same time. They are crying over issues that happened 10 years ago because the emotions are high. The energy is high. This is why you'll find some eating stones, because they want to ground themselves. This is where you'll find others being spiritual. This is the time that you'll find maybe one woman maybe is more of don't like certain foods because the kind of energy she has is not in line with what she used to eat. That's when she discovers new food that she can eat because that new energy requires that new food like she just discovered. So this explains why a woman will have different preferences and even hate the things that she used to eat or even have before, even certain scents that maybe she used to like before. Then when she's pregnant, she don't like them anymore. And when she is more of done with the creation, she goes back to the things that she used to eat and the kind of perfume that she used to use. Is because the energy is way high, and that's why she's having emotions left, right, center because of the energy. That's why, again, I've said this before, when a woman is going to give birth like that, like the last 2-3 days, especially if it's more of normal, you'll hear her talking about, I did a lot of general cleaning, I had a lot of energy. That energy is there, the energy of creation. What I'm trying to tell you is when something is being created in you, whether you are pregnant or not, whether it's a business that is being created in you, whether it's a job, you've been praying for this job for a very long time, you are forced into a period of resting first. You rest. Nothing is going on. Nothing is happening. You're not being called for interviews. You're not being called for anything. No response on emails. You're dealing with contracts. No response. Nothing. You are in a law firm. No clients. Nothing. Nothing goes on. And it's okay to understand this is a phase. This is a period. And it's okay for you to let yourself relax. But we are used to being hard on ourselves, feeling like, no, I need to be working. I can't be relaxing. I can't be doing these. And you have to relax sometimes for creation. The energy of creation is a lot, is too much, and it kind of more of can force you to shut down. It can actually force you to shut down, and sometimes it can force you because in a way that now you're no longer getting clients. The clients that you had, they go away. The kind of job that you had, maybe you're fired. That's why first things look dark or they look bad before they become better. That is like a darkness that you see, the dark face before the morning. Remember, we also rest during the dark phase. We also rest when it is dark. Remember, we also rest when it is more of at night, and then light comes in the morning. That's when we wake up. So whenever you are in a dark phase, most of the time, whether it's emotionally, you're being more of you're having issues with your relationship, most of the time you also tend to sleep a lot. When you are going through hardships, maybe financially, relationship, you always find yourself you want to sleep a lot because you are in darkness already, and something is being created for the morning, and you can only sleep when it's in darkness. I don't know if you've ever noted that most of the time that you're going through a hard time, you just switch off. You just want to sleep. And it's not like you're lazy. The body just wants to shut down because there's also a renewal coming. Even when you're going through hard times, emotionally, your body actually shuts off to repair yourself, to heal yourself. More of repairing or more of healing your wound. That can also happen when you are in a deep rest. Remember, even when you go to a hospital and maybe you have a wound, you are told go and rest. You can only heal when you are resting. So another way of you knowing if you're healing emotionally, you tend to find yourself in a rest phase. You just want to sleep, you just want to relax, you just want to take some rest, and you don't understand it's coming because you need to heal yourself. You need to heal. You are in a phase whereby you're healing emotionally, and any kind of healing, whether it's an external wound, whether it's an internal wound, it requires you to rest. It requires you to rest for that kind of healing to be done. So equally, whenever a creation is happening, whenever something is being created in you, whenever a new thing is coming, your manifestation is coming, you first fall into a still period. Nothing is happening. You're supposed to be in a deep rest. You're supposed to be in a deep sleep. You're supposed to be more of reflecting about your life. It is okay to have that kind of reflection. It is okay to do nothing. It is okay to sleep. It is okay to relax, because only by resting is when you can create something. So when you see that student who just want to sleep and is not maybe applying for the job, he's not lazy. Some are not lazy. They've done the application part, because it gets to a point you've done the application and you just say, I just want to sleep now. You just feel like you want to sleep and you don't have the energy to send more applications, but you've been sending. It's because that job is being created already in the spiritual world. So when you see someone who is in that phase whereby they just feel like sleeping, they just feel like being in a deep rest, there's a very high chance this person, whatever he or she has been praying for, it is on the way coming. And that's why they have been put into sleep, like Adam did, like God did to Adam to create Eve. Because in every creation, you need to rest. For every creation to happen, or whenever the creation process is going on, you need to rest. You need to sleep. You need to relax. You need that phase of you being grounded and just let the creation work happen.
And at these cafes, nothing is really happening. And the time, it really depends on what is coming to your life. If it is a bigger manifestation or something bigger, it will take a lot of time. Maybe months. You can talk of months, and perhaps even some. I don't know about this, but some even years. We find that there is a person who is very hardworking while at school or even while at college. But at this moment, you find that they tend to sleep. I'll attach the video by Wamboidon. I want to keep a record of what I'm happening, of what I'm doing here, with with evidence. I'm in a forest somewhere and I am enjoying it by the breeze. The cobwebs. So that's the point, bro. You are going to be put under forceful rest and nothing is going to work for you. Remember Forex, I started messing up while in the middle of at the start of my end of season. By the way, this video that I got the second time. Now I received 2 videos which remind me of the of this part of. By the way, I had not gotten the full context. Yeah. The full context of what was happening in my life until I watched this video recently. It was yesterday, I think, or was it the day before yesterday? That's when I got the information that okay, I'm in a season of transition. I'm in that moment of transition, and I need to just relax, let things happen, let things flow. I'm the same person. I'm still the same person who manifested things, and I expect them to come. So I must just remain calm and let things happen, because they need to happen for my manifestation to just come into reality. That's the whole point. And now I got the full context. Kumbe there are seasons in someone's life. I came to understand. Kumbe I'm being graduated to one level to another, and this transition usually when nothing. Okay, let me not talk fast. I think I've trained myself to just talk slowly so that I get everything right. Now, you may all agree with me that before you transition to another level, they start a period of, separation, preparation, and separation, preparation, and separation and preparation. Now that you're moving from, let's say, let me just give a typical example that has happened recently in my life. You get that? Yeah, you are, so you get the idea that yes, it's happening, and you can all agree that it's happening. What am I really saying? Okay, I'm trying to remember before I got disrupted. So maybe you are coming out. Maybe you have just completed high school. You are waiting to get into university or even some college somewhere, such as people who completed KCSE last year. They are in that phase of nothing is really happening unless they have a job or something. But I want to paint the picture that they are not doing anything. So ideally, that is what is happening. As I've come to understand from the seasons, when one season is transitioning to another season, you will get an idea, or you'll get into a phase where now, well, there's a moment there. There's some very many months in between college and getting to university. There's a moment there that nothing is really happening. You are not into school. You are not focusing on anything. Nothing is. You are not. You are not tied to do something. Okay, that's the point. And as you are waiting for this phase to go, in fact, it's like a phone. I recently got a phone update the other day. So right now I'm operating on this Xiaomi MIUI 14.09. I was at 14.08. So that's the versions. I was operating on version 14.0.8, and now I downloaded the update the other day. Well, was it a week ago? I downloaded the update. Was about 1 GB or something, or even 2. I'm not sure about this, but I downloaded. And whenever you are installing an update in a phone, you have to download and install it. After download it. And for it to be effective, to properly be the primary operating system, you have to restart the phone. Okay, so that moment of restarting the phone where nothing is really happening, that's the moment of transition in one's life, as I've come to understand. I'm yet to write articles about that in my Facebook account, but I will when I'm over this thing. I've not been online for almost two weeks. Now this is the third week. I'm not getting online. I'm not, I have almost shut off my, my SIM cards, and waiting for this season to be over, and then I resurface. In fact, I'll not resurface immediately. I have a plan, and this plan is of me. I just want to, conclude that now everything is now okay. I'm going to, in fact, I have started to morph to another person, a person of that I wanted in my life. There's this ultimate picture of myself that I want. A person who relates with people, who has a good heart, who emits good energy. Yeah, I want to emit good energy. So that means I have to set my vibration at a certain point, higher than the previous person that I was. I'm actually transitioning, and I said in the last video, I'm moving to another person. A man, for that matter, a proper man, who know how to relate with people, who talks the who talks about relevant things. Okay, I'm not really talking about relevant. I'm talking about who speaks less words, but words that really do matter, and at the right time, the right words, everything intact. So I want to fix myself to be another version of myself that people have never seen. They are kind of interacting. Okay, that is a wow. That is a person who knows himself. That is a leader. I want to identify myself as a good leader. Yeah, a good leader who knows how to lead people. Okay, who has first started who have led themselves. Therefore, leading people will not be an issue with them. They are comfortable with that. So that's the kind of a person that I want to be. Someone who knows how to speak for himself. Someone who knows to choose the right words to talk to in a certain context to different people. Who knows how to live with different people. So that's the person that I'm going to move in that moment after this transition. Once I get into that level, that new level of life, I'm going to transition to another person. And trust me, I'll be doing diaries, and I think you have started to note that it has started to be different. There's a way that I've started to put a taste in this, all that, I have a vision of myself being a proper man who has control over his emotions, his mind, the mind which I've discovered that I think the greatest battle you can ever have is the battle of the mind. Knowing how to detach, knowing how to desire, knowing how to look for value. Bro. Anyway, so let me digress from that. I think I need to talk about some other things. Some other important things that I need to sit down. Okay? Now, I finally cracked the code. Bro. Man, right now, by the way, I need to talk about this. Yeah, I need to talk about this. I've noted this beginner luck while you are even. While I was getting into Forex, I got even $7 in that first day. $7 fucking dollars. That was about 1,200 shillings. Yeah, something of the sort. And for almost that whole week, I was profitable. I was floating in my profitability. And for a moment, I was like, by the way, if this Forex is that lucrative, why haven't I been doing this? But that is, I was not remembering that this was just beginner's luck. And after some days, that's when I started incurring losses. And I reached a point, Forex just cut off my profit. Take profit in my I don't know. You understand? It reached a point now I started incurring losses, and I was left with $1. The other money that was with flushed to the toilet. Now, as I was assessing this situation, I realized whenever you have hopes while you are doing something, the mind tends to create a certain vibration. Yeah, maybe you are starting a new business. You'll find that you'll get a lot of clients in that first week. The second one is when, okay, what happened last week and what is happening this week? Because there's no connection. I don't know. I think I need to put it into words, by the way, and I'll talk about it when I put it into words. I'll give a context of what I've come to understand. But the summary of it is that you certainly set a vibration in your mind. So you are in this state of creation where wealth is just flowing to you. As I've come to understand, there's a certain video again by Wamboy Don that I saw the day before yesterday, talks about you cannot create wealth in some certain environments. That's take it to the bank. You can take it to the bank. That one, bro, take it to the bank. You need to, your mind needs to be in a certain frequency. Okay? It needs to be in a certain frequency of no low vibrations. No low states of vibrations should be, you should not be in those where you are sad. Where you are sad, you cannot make money. That's when you are angry, you cannot make money. When you are a bit obsessed with something, you will not make money. Take that to the bank. You know, those states of emotions that you are in, you are prone, you are likely not to be successful at making money, because remember, money is energy, and to reach that energy you need to have a certain frequency to reach it. Therefore, your mind has to be tuned to that, and that is actually what happens in that beginner's luck. Remember, the mind is at its highest. The vibrations are just good. Therefore, it is attracting the money that you usually need. And afterwards, when you start doubting, is when you start, okay, now considering that you are not experiencing this business, you start poking holes into that. That is what sets the vibration, sets another vibration, which tends to be low vibrations, which now leads to losses, someone incurring losses in their new business. You get the point? Like, I'm talking about the greatest battle you can ever fight is a battle of the mind. The battle of the mind. Because knowing when to separate and how to separate it calls for, again, experience. Detachment. Hey, man, I think detachment is something that I think I need to master the skill. Because clearly, is what has pushed people away, and I've learned from it. I don't know what is yet to come, by the way. I'm in a phase where I'm not thinking about anything. I'm not expecting anything. Now, Becky Atia is another, content creator in TikTok who I follow her videos. If you want to be successful, desire something, but don't be attached to the outcome. Let things happen. And the most successful people that you will see around are the people who do things in a crazy way. They know the outcome, but after that they just let it go. They detach. They even forget that they did the video. That's how life should be. If you want money, desire so much money and feel it while you're manifesting. Go for it physically do something, because manifestation calls also for you to do something physically. You can't just manifest things out of there. You need to do something. Do that something in a crazy energy, and then afterward let it go. Like, just let it go. The universe will just figure out how to deliver that thing that you want to you.
To touch your negative thoughts if you're struggling to keep your vibration high. I have virtual sessions from the 30th of this month to the 30th of April. I have sessions every single day. Just book your slot with me at only 3,000 bob and tell me if your life is not gonna change for the better, because I have done the work and I know what it takes. I wanna help you do the work as well. Cheers.
In the best way possible. And that's when you realize, Gaia, kumbe the people who detach easily are the people who get the most, the good things in life. Whereas people who cling to getting the results, seeing the results, they are waiting for the results, like their attention is into that thing, they'll never get anything. just that they are denied some things. The battle of the mind. If there's one thing that you can master in this world and you will be successful at everything that you do, master the mind.
Money does not like toxicity, and most people have created a toxic environment for money, where money, when money lands, it does not want to stay in that toxic environment. Every time you make money and you can't seem to keep it, you don't understand why. When money comes to you, no matter how much you've made it, you can't seem to keep it. You can't seem to have money for 12 hours, 24 hours. Just have 100,000 shillings for 24 hours, for 12 hours, and not have the need to use it anywhere. Like, when money lands, it has to go out. It's not going out to investments, it's not going out to very important things. It's just going out to take care of other issues. Like, you have made money, or the moment you make money, just prior to it, your mother has called, oh, she's sick now, you can't wait for this money to pay for that bill. Your father has called, something has happened to the cow, you can't wait to get the money so that you can pay, you can sort it out. Or your niece has been sent out of school, your nephew has got an issue, your sibling has got this, that, and the third. Every time you get money, it has to leave you, and it's not going to investment, it's not going to anything. The moment money comes to you, boom, it runs out. You have to assess, what do you feel, or how do you feel every time you pay a bill? Every time you spend money, how do you speak about money? Because sometimes you're very toxic and disrespectful when it comes to money. Because when you're paying your rent, do you pay it begrudgingly, or do you pay it like lovingly, and you're so grateful about it because you're like, this house has given me a roof over my head, or this is providing me shelter. I'm really grateful, especially to have the ability to pay for it, to have the ability to pay for this school where my child is going because they're getting a good education. Not every time a child comes back home with something from school, you're begrudgingly talking about it. This school is too expensive, and this thing they're asking. By the time you're giving money, money has come out of your pocket, but with so much complaint, with so much disgust, with so much disrespect coming from you, that every time you're giving out your money, it is not just coming from a cheerful place. It's not coming from a loving place. It's coming from a place with so much money will not want to stay with you. It will not want to stay near you because you have no regard for it, you have no respect for it, and then you think that when you're paying for bills, you're paying other people, when in real sense you're giving to yourself. Because you're using money as the exchange for the service that you've gotten. You're supposed to be grateful for it because money has afforded you the roof over your head. Money is affording your kids to have a good education. Money is affording the Wi-Fi in your house. It's affording the electricity bill, because you would not have been able to pay for the electricity bill had it not been for your ability to make the money. So why are you giving it out begrudgingly? Why are you giving it out with so much talk, so much smack, so much behind or that is accompanying the money? It will not want to stay near you. So you have to be aware. Every time you go to the supermarket and you can see the bill rising, calm yourself down. So that's the feeling that is coming out of you. That is exactly how you feel about money. So you can talk about abundance, you can talk about wanting to have money all you care, but the real deal that you have with money, the real feeling about money, is that of disgust, is that of disrespect, is that of lack and limitation. Money will not want to stay near you. And that is why most of you will make deals, you will cut deals, you'll have a lot of money, but it will always be as though you don't have money. It will always be as though it is not enough, because money will not want to stay near you. No matter how much you make it happen, it will always want out. It will want to go away, fly away from you. And that is why you will make money and still have no investments, have nothing to show for it. Money it's just like a bottomless pit. You're always trying to feel something and it just never does it for you. Because deep down, how you feel about money is not gratitude. You have no gratitude towards money. You have fear of money, of losing it. You have a lot of anxiety around it. You have a lot of lack and limitation. You are just in a toxic relationship with money. It will not want to stay near you. And by the way, the Getting Unstuck 2 is coming up on the 8th. Please, for those of you who are asking about it, the number is on my bio. Send me a WhatsApp message and let's get to it. Let's get to understand how you can get unstuck, because be ye transformed by the renewal of the mind. Before you can get into doing, get into being. All right. I'll see you in the sessions. Number is on my bio. Amount is $3,500 or $29. See you. Cheers.
Master the mind. Master how to deflect the attention. Avert attention. That's the level of detachment. And I'm going back to it. Anyway, I was going to talk about something else. By the way, I've gotten another ladybird here. I've gotten another ladybird. It has four dots. So I'll make 4,000 Kenyan shillings plus this week. I'm into that, by the way. I'm into that. I'm going to make 4,000 shillings this week from Forex. By the way, I need some money, by the way. By the way, I need to talk about something. I got a loan from an app the other day. It was actually yesterday. And I'm planning, since there's a way that I've felt that this cafes of life that I'm undergoing, it's like it's over. I have felt it in my spirit, like, okay, it's over. Because it was yesterday that I felt like, was it on Friday? I think it was yesterday. I felt like, okay, I need to write some things in Facebook. And such a thought cannot happen when I'm in such a phase. So that means I'm almost out of that cafes. I don't know how much it's going to take, but I have a reason to believe that this phase is not yet over. I'm not yet, okay, on my part, I'm not yet over with it. I need to move to another person. So that's the point. I got a loan, 1,000 Kenyan shillings from microfinance company somewhere, through an app, through the application that I got from Play Store. So they sent me some 1,000 Kenyan shillings. So this is the one that I'm supposed to deposit in my... And before that, I opened an account with HFM. This is a broker, a Forex broker here in Kenya. Yeah, here in Kenya. Yeah, it's a broker account. Yeah, I opened it was it on Friday? It was on Friday, yeah. And I get a call from one of the... Is it sales agent from that company? I don't know. These people bother people, bana. When you open an account, they tend to, okay, so you deposit some money. It's not, okay, I'm not trying to say that. This is... My point is, I'm not trying to just demoralize. Okay, what I'm trying to say is, it has just become a nuisance that you open an account with a broker, a Forex broker, and you find they no longer care about it. Okay, they start giving you calls each and every time, and you don't want to talk. Remember, as an introvert, you are like, okay, I'm usually not comfortable taking calls, so I'm kind of in a phase where, guys, can you just relax? Can't you wait for me to just can you just wait for me to just, now? So that's, I receive a call. They tell me that they are going to give me a deep there's an offer. When you deposit some money, you'll receive half of that or something. I was like, okay, I know I want money, but the call, can't you just text me? It's easier that way.
I'm taking a break. You are not going to see me here for a long time, but I will be around.
Anyway, let's go to keep customer relations. So my point is, I don't know, man. I anyway, so I open a Forex account. I'm planning to just deposit the money. I don't know. I'm going to try with HFM. By the way, I discovered that whenever I'm trading with FBS, I've not been withdrawing money. With FX Pesa, which is a Forex broker based in Kenya, I was depositing and again withdrawing with some profit on top. While with the FBS, it has been different. Ever since that I deposited the first nini, I've never withdrawn any nini. I'm like, okay, let me change the nini. I was planning to just to go back to FBA, actually to FX Pesa, but I was like, with their high leverage, okay, their low, their maximum leverage is 1,300. It's like they have a very low leverage, and I have very small amounts of money. Therefore, kidogo it will be a bit difficult for me to cope with their nini. It's like, okay, FBS, I can't continue trading with them. In fact, I'm planning to just withdraw my money from that, from them. They are still holding my $3.5. I'll withdraw the money. I'll put it into another broker. I think sijui kani kuroga ama wameroga pesa ama nini. You just can't win with small money. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'll try it out some other day, but I'm going with HFM right now. But I want somewhere I can access higher leverage. Okay, so since I have now, oh my goodness, I have 51 minutes and I need more time to talk about some things here. I don't have storage. I'm pretty sure it's running out and I need more time. And I feel like going for a long call. 1.1 GB. Okay, let me compress this video at this point and then I'll continue with the Forex nini. There's something that I've discovered and I need to document it. And since I have nowhere to document anything that I do in my life, I usually document everything in my diaries. So I'll document this and then, yeah, I'll give the whole context of what I've discovered, which is actually a gold. This is a game changer. In fact, from next week, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be profitable. That is guaranteed. I have no doubt. In fact, I have no doubt that I'm going to win this week. In fact, today is Sunday and it's usually the first day of the week. This week I'm going to be profitable in a way that I cannot understand, while keeping in mind that I have to set the vibrations high such that, you know, when you start something you have that kind of excitement. I have to have that excitement when I'm trading this week. I'm going to do things differently this week. I've come to understand the mind. I've gotten insights to the real data that is driving Forex market. I literally have now everything at my disposal and I got a loan yesterday. Therefore, I'm going to use everything that I have to get what I want. Right now, ideally that's what I'm going to talk about after the break. Let me compress the video. I don't know if, okay, maybe 200 pixels will do. So let me compress the video. Back at it. Only that it's far from where I was recording. But yeah, I'm enjoying it, by the way. You know, I'm taking a walk in. Right now I'm in a place called Turi Farmers. It's there on the other end of, you know, El Bagon. But it's near town, by the way. I don't know what has led me to come to this place, and I think it's because my video was being compressed. But yeah, I'm taking advantage of that. So I was to talk about what I uncovered, and I finally unlocked the gem. Now, remember when I was talking about the currency index? I came to realize kumbe that's the value, that's the perceived value of the currency. And I think I need to sit down and explain this in a way that anyone can come here and understand what I mean by, you know, this strategy that I developed from the man. I think it is one of the thumbnails of my videos. He's the one who taught me to think about that. He's the one who not forced me, but compelled me to think in that direction, where forex is just a graph of two currencies competing with their values, and that is what makes the graph go down, sometimes up. Ideally, that's the exchange rate. And if you want to access or even tap into the real data, or even to know the direction of the knee of where the chart will go, is you just need to understand the graph of the individual currencies. That's where you get the data from. And okay, I need to go to a place that is silent and has no eyes around, which is, I think, is on the railways. Hey, Papa. So I was talking about forex, and I've come to understand kumbe forex isn't that complex as people put it. If you only understand the fundamentals, that's it. That's it. That's it. If you just understand the basics of business, ideally. Now, I want to paint a picture of what forex looks like, unlike how people put it at it. There's a notion that is being formed in people's mind when people talk about forex, and especially when you talk about the technical analysis, you are like, what? Like, you're trading, you're putting so many rectangles and even lines and even, bro, like, you make it. Technical traders on YouTube and even on forex, they make you feel like forex is such a complex thing, yet it's a very simple and very, in fact, the most transparent market in the world. The most transparent is forex. Once you understand these fundamental rules, forex is two pairs trading, okay, and these are two values competing. That's when the candlesticks and even the graphs form. And if you want to understand it deeper or even in a clearer manner, you have to understand each individual currency. Okay, that is the base and the pair currency. Now, to complete the quest for, I don't know, to complete the equation, you have to make sense of these two, understanding these two, and coming up with a conclusion. Like the other day, I decided to just, now, what will be the reaction if the value of, okay, now you have understood what forex is, because I'm doing this for future reference. I don't know why this thought keeps surfacing in my mind that one day the memory will kind of deteriorate and I'll have no one or even nowhere to refer what I used to do. Therefore, I do this for that purpose. Okay, I don't know what the future holds. And remember, I'm not training anyone, but I'm planning to train my brother on this concept that I have developed at this time. Okay, after high school, right now they are in their final year of high school. So I'm going to introduce them to Forex once they complete high school. But I need, you don't need to do things alone. You need it to, you need to have disciples, just as Jesus did, right? So, just as Jesus did with his teachings, he didn't want to do it alone. He wanted to leave other people with it. Therefore, I'm journaling this such that I'll have, at one point, I'll come to refer to this video. Maybe when I don't know, I hope that I won't lose track of the name of my YouTube channel. Okay, by the time that I'm losing everything in my memory, no, I hope I won't lose access to this because it is important. I don't know the title that I'll give to this video because it has a lot. It has a lot of things, by the way. And I want to make it one video. I don't want to make it several. Now, Forex, we have understood that these are two currencies that are trading with each other in terms of value. That's why you see the graph. Now, what most people don't understand is that these are two pairs trading. Therefore, you have to look at each individually. Therefore, you have to look at the value, or even dig deeper and find the value of maybe USD trading against the JPY. And that's where DXY comes in. Now, these are just a denotation of the value of probably the US dollar. Okay, DXY, if you search that denotation, that term DXY in TradingView, you will get the index, or actually the perceived value of the US dollar. It's as simple as that, and that's what I'm using against my advantage. Again, you look at Japanese or even other currency. As long as you add XY at the end, maybe Japanese yen is JXY, Canadian dollar is Canadian dollar perceived value is CXY. For the British pound, it is BXY. Euro is EXY. And the list goes on and on and on. Now, I think at one point while I was interacting with my TradingView, platform, the web platform, I came to understand, I was actually typing something. By that time I was lazy. I don't know what I was typing on my Nini. Now, I have just finished my business on my laptop and I've placed it on the table. Okay, I'm seated on the chair. And I'm a bit busy with my phone. I decide to search something on the search bar. Or even I don't know what I pressed. I don't know what key that I pressed. I find myself, I've added another chart on the Nini. Unconsciously, by the way, I keep a record of that. I keep a record of what I have done. And I was like, how is that even possible? Until some days later, like 2 or 3 days later, I saw wow, kumbe that thing that I was doing, in fact, I was not aware that I was doing it. Okay, I was searching a certain currency pair. That's when I encountered, there's a way you can do something. You are not actually, you had no motive behind whatever you are doing, but you find yourself doing something and that's a new feature. And I come to understand, kumbe you can add another chart on top of another chart in TradingView. I was like, that's a brilliant feature. It didn't make sense at that moment until later, some days later, I come to realize, wow, kumbe this is what I had been looking for the longest time. And now everything now starts to unravel, everything starts to unfold. You're like, I had to come home so that I find the best position to be lazy, and I find out about this feature, and I connect the dot with the man who was talking about the value and how now to know what Forex is, and now everything clicks. Because ideally, I came to understand that he's using MT4 PC, but he's using some graphs, and they are paid for almost $250. And for me, $250, where do you think I'm going to get them right now at this time? I'm talking about this time. Where do you think I'm going to get to 25, almost 27,000? You think it will be that easy? Or even 30? It might be even be 30,000 Kenyan shillings. Where do you think I'm going to get? And that's on the minimum. On the minimum, that's the amount that you are going to subscribe to his to access to his to his graphs, those graphs of perceived value and what have you, all those. So I understand now why I had to come home, so that I find the best environment to make me, oh my goodness, my battery is running out. So I understand now why I had to come home. It was to make me lazy and find out a feature and now incorporate it to just make sense of everything in Forex, and then the rest is just history. I don't know, but what I believe is the future is looking bright, and trust me, I'm going to talk about the plans that I have right now. So you see, that's the nini. Now, another thing that I came to note, that TradingView has that feature. You see that plus icon in TradingView on the left of the screen. You can add two graphs at the same time. And this is where I uncover kumbe I can run two perceived value of the two pair of currencies on the main chart of where the nini is going, and you can easily determine where the graph is going. Like for example, you see the base value increases value, it's likely the graph is going up. Okay, the candlesticks are going up. If the base value reduces value, it's going down. Now if the pair increases value, the graph will go down. That is, the exchange rate is going down. If it reduces in value, the graph will go up. Are you getting it? Basically, that's how Forex works. And you can now, from that, you can, what do you call it? What do you call it in science? There's this graph where you can extrapolate, yes. Now you can extrapolate from there how the pair and the base currencies relate with each other. As long as you have the currency indexes in TradingView, you are likely to determine the direction of the graph based on those two things, right? Cool. So that's that. So that's what I uncovered, and literally that's the secret behind Forex trading. If you want to become successful, look at the two things, and you can incorporate a volume at some point to just validate what you have made sense in the in the exchange of value graphs. So it was on Friday, it was the day before yesterday. That's when I connect everything. I can get the currency indexes, put them on the same graph using TradingView, which I've came to understand. TradingView is a complex tool that has so many features that you can use for your own advantage. Now, unlike how people perceive Forex, I've talked about technical traders. They make it seem so complex that you need to understand things in a certain manner. By the way, while I was getting into Forex, I was not comfortable even following up on technical analysis. In fact, I was done. I was tired before even. I was like, you mean I will draw lines each and every day for analysis for the rest of my Forex life? I was like, fuck it. I can't do that, bro. Because I think from the training that I've got from software engineering, web development, digital marketing, the many things that I've tried, I usually know what will consume my time and what will not. It's raining out here by the way, that's why I noted that. But it's not raining much. It's only, yeah, kidogo kidogo. So, I was talking about, yeah, I was not willing to do that every day. So, I found out strategy. I don't know if I've ever talked about it. I wonder. So, ideally, my point is, Forex is such a very simple market to make money in. In fact, one of the simplest way to make money, Forex, if only you understand the concept. And I swear, if I'm going to teach anyone this concept, they will pay up of $100. Trust me, I can't discover that strategy and I show it for free. You will pay me, bro. You will pay me. You know, after uncovering, and you see, the man who is teaching this is making people pay $225. Okay, because he has access to APIs, and I'm looking forward to getting the APIs from somewhere reliable that I can keep my, I can access it and make my own dashboard on MT4. In fact, I'm planning to do that soon, where I have access to those APIs each and every day and anytime that I need it, because access to the currency index is usually from at 3 in the afternoon in Kenyan time to almost at 12 midnight. That's close to about 8 hours. I have access to currency index, except for the US dollar. It runs for almost probably 22 hours or 23. I'm not sure about it. But it's one of USD is the exceptional one. You can, you can check the value of the dollar all day long. Okay. So, but for others, I can only access them from 3 p.m. to 12 a.m. midnight Kenyan time, EAT, East African time. So that's that. Now, there's something else that I need to talk about, especially the US currency index. It's different. As I have uncovered this on Friday, I later realized, wait, there's a certain nini which I don't know about. However, I'm going to find out. Is there any index that has to do with, again, while I was doing the research for the currency indexes, I came to discover that it's an aggregation of the exchange rate all over the world put into just one graph, so that it gives the perceived value of the currency. I keep that in mind while I was researching. Now, I was trying to uncover, for that matter, gold. Would it be possible to just find that aggregate? And remember, gold is not a currency. It's one commodity. Therefore, that means the price is a bit, I don't know. I was unsure about that, okay? Now, so it's me trying to find out where is the index, or if there is any index of the gold. Hey, hello. So I'm trying to find out the current or even the gold index from TVC. I think it's from TVC, I think in America or something like that. So I find it in TradingView. In fact, I was so much surprised that I can find the value of the gold, and in a way that I had not expected it. Now, let me talk about something particularly interesting that I come to uncover or even find out. Now, I have come to understand that gold, gold, in its index, gold index, I realize it has a certain pattern, and that's why I don't know how to put this into words. Wait, let me just sit down. Now, I want to talk about something. So, one of the ways to, but one of the ways, what am I really saying? Yeah. Gold has a certain pattern in whenever it comes to that index. Now, gold, each, and I actually now I make sense of things of why gold is actually the most traded and most loved currency or even a commodity while trading forex. I come to understand why it's so much loved. It's because one thing that I've come to, I think this, I'm going to make this a tutorial on this diary. I'm going to make it a full tutorial to show you how I was able to uncover this. Now, I'm going to show actually the strategy. I don't know whether I feel, I'm exposing a secret or something, but I'm going to record a whole session of how to trade value. I'm going to talk about the whole thing, okay? The whole tutorial. Now, Forex, now, gold has a certain pattern. There's a certain point, almost at, starting from 8:30 p.m. 8:30 to almost 7:30 a.m. or something like that. At that time frame, the value of the the value of the the value of the the value of the gold is usually constant. If it's going up, it's going on a straight line. Like, it's so much easy to trade gold and make profit out of it because the price is just constant. Like, it's moving at a straight line until a certain point is where the price is going to change, and then something is going to change on the mini, and then after a certain point at 8:30 p.m. it's gonna take another shift. If it's going down, it's going down on a straight line. Like, it has a certain a certain pattern. Now, as I'm doing this, I uncover kumbe I can easily make money out of this gold that people keep talking about, because I have access to now the data that is driving the market or even the chart. And that's on Friday, I think after that I took a demo account and traded gold, and trust me, I was able to make almost 300, in fact more than 500, 5,000, in fact 5,000 USD. Okay, that's close to that's close to almost, let me put it simply at probably 700,000. I made in that demo account alone after uncovering that. You know, I was going to test the waters and it was successful. And you tell me that I don't have gold in my mind. No. I realized, bro, if there's something that I've tapped into this world that is so valuable, is knowing the value of data in Forex and having access to it. Right now, I can beat any market because I have access to knowledge that not many people are privileged enough to have. You get the point? I have access to data that not most traders, in fact 90% of the traders, both the retail and combined, don't have. Yet I am a beginner in Forex, but I want to give credit to to my maker, to my God. He has made this happen. It's not by by my knowledge. It is not by my might. It's by His grace that I have seen. You know, I've even seen myself a bright future ahead of me because of uncovering that knowledge. So yeah, this week I'm planning to tomorrow. I don't know about tomorrow. I'm going to start setting the vibrations right in my brain to do things as if I have never done them, with that energy that things will just work out for themselves. So ideally, I'm setting up for profitability this week. So you have seen also the lady but delivered the message. I'm going to get the 4,000 Kenyan shillings. And now my plan. Let me talk about my plan. By then I'm going to expound on that matter of Forex. So that's what I have covered. I have now access to everything that I need right now to trade Forex. Laptop. First, the mind. The mind. The brain. The mind. The data. And finally the tools. Laptop and phone and internet. All of those things. And since I had discovered spirituality some few months ago, I have now a high advantage compared to other people. And I have access to information that has changed my mind, how I perceive things. Right now, sasa ni mteremko hivi. If this year doesn't end without me, I'm going to buy a Vivo X200 Pro. Now I have reasons to believe I can get money in such an easy manner. So yeah, I uncovered that. I really needed to talk about that. I'm going to do the video of part of it. Not in not so long a time, by the way. But I'm planning actually to go back. Now, my plan is, once I start trading, I'm changing my broker, by the way. Hey, I'm not continuing trading with the FBS. It's as if nikawa waliniroga bana. Walinirogea pesa yangu bana. I cannot make any profit and withdraw it. Bro, I can't continue with them. I have to change my broker. I can even go back to FX Space. Only that the margin is a bit shaky. It's a bit, bro, it's a bit crazy. I don't know. But yeah, my plan is, once I get $100, because literally right now I have almost $10 from the where I copied, I borrowed the money from. I'm going to trade that and convert it and flip it into $100. That is my own money. Debt paid, everything paid, no other expenses. I'm going to get myself $100. In those $100, I'm returning back to school. Back to Moi. Right? Back to Moi. And unannounced, I'll go unannounced. Only that I have to check. I took some numbers from some caretakers in Mabs. So I have to get a house from an empty house while I'm going back. So I'll call them while I'm at here, and I'll book a room from there, and then get a room. Okay, make sure that I've paid for it while I'm at here. I go to school or at Moi. Okay, and I have reasons to believe that I'm going to settle near Mabatini. It's a place near in Moi University, KSS. So I'm going to that place, and after I go there, I'll go unannounced. I'll not tell anyone there, and I'm going to stay underwater. Like no one will even know that I'm there. I'll not be showing up anywhere that I think. I have to stay underwater for a while, maybe a month or two. I stay underwater, chini ya maji. In fact, no one will know that I'm still in Moi. Yeah. And at that point, I think this is where I'm going to take the real initiatives to become a changed person. I'm going to change. Like I'm literally going to be another person. Yeah. I'm going to be another person. I'm going to morph to another person. The person that I was talking about previously in my videos. In my actually the other part of the video where I was near the trees. So yeah, so that's my plan. I go back. I continue trading and making my strategy improvements. Yeah. Of course, I'll have paid the rent for I'll be looking for the rent for the 2 months. Afterwards, I don't know what will happen. I don't know God's plan. I might have my own plan, but God has His own plan for my life. So I trust that I'm going to do the right thing at that moment. So that's that. So ideally, I have my life planned out, but I have to do things strategically. I'll go back to Kesai because I don't want to stay any longer here. Because I think what I was here for, I think I've gotten it. Yeah, I got the humility. I got humiliated. Humility is a virtue, and you must learn it by all means before wealth is, entrusted in your hands. You have to learn how to handle money. So I have learned my lesson. I have healed from even the things that were going on, and only some few weeks. I need to stay here for about 2-3 weeks or something like that, maybe 1 month. So maximum maybe 1 month, and I'll be out. So I go back to the Nini. I stay underwater for 2 months. So this is on maybe May, June. Now maybe at June is when I'm going to leave. Or perhaps even May. That's when I'm going to leave if I am profitable. But I don't want to be greedy. Greedy. No, I don't want to be greedy. I want to just be taking enough profits for a day. If you are targeting $5 every day, maybe five, or even 10. That is if my amount continues to increase. I'm going also to increase the see, I have access to the data, so I'm not bothered. I have the confidence, and that confidence is what actually sets the vibrations. But before I do start trading, I have to set the vibrations right and in the right frequency. I have to be in high states of frequency. Happiness, gratitude, I have to practice that for just a few days before I start trading. Of course, I have the pressure of now the money that I borrowed, I have to return it before the week. They have given me 7 days to return the money. So I have to figure out how to return the money to them. And remain with some for me now to continue No, I want to get the double of that. I want access to $10. If I was able actually, let me talk about this. In fact, I created an account with the XM trading, and I was able to flip a $10 account to $26. If that is possible within a week, see, it's possible to make more than even $10 profit that I'm now going to start on. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a successful week. Once I start the vibrations right, this will take about 1-2 days. The third day, now get into the market. Set your machines right, get your connections right, and start trading. So ideally that's that. So yeah, so that's my plan, but I'm going back to KSS, but it's going to be so silent. I'm not going to tell anyone. I think that's the point that I'm going to raise money to buy the monitor, the big monitor, the big curved monitor. Afterwards, I only need access to a good screen. That's one. Number two, get access to a chair, a good ergonomic chair. Okay, this will cost me up of 20,000 Kenya shillings. I'm not sure where to get a good chair, but I'll get one, and a good table. Imagine that's all that I need. Yeah, and of course a mattress, something like that. For the food, I'm not worried about. By the way, I'm going to change my diet. I am going to literally change my diet. It will now be proteins, vegetables, and revolving about that. Like, hiyo sasa ndio chakula yangu sasa. Vegetables, fruits, proteins. And that's it, by the way. I'm going back to school. I'm going to change my nini, because I also need to improve my brain health and even my body health. It's necessary, right? So that's my plan after going back to Moi. Buy the items. That's the chair, table. Okay, I can continue trading with the nini with my laptop. However, I need access to a monitor, a big monitor where I can now be reviewing things or what I'm doing. And after 2 months, maybe I'll resurface. But at this point, and even I'm not posted for the past 3 months or even 3 weeks in my Facebook account, and I'm not looking at any moment coming back anytime. So I'm going to stay underwater, like inactive. My WhatsApp, I'll be logging in to just keep my WhatsApp active and not lose the chats, or should I say, I'm not going to be losing. I'm not willing to lose the groups, right? I'm not going to lose the chats or even the groups. That's what I'm fearing of losing. I'll just be resurfacing on WhatsApp, back up my data, and then disappear again for about 3 weeks. Resurface again. That will be now the cycle. I just want to stay underwater. So I don't want to inform anyone of my presence while I'm in Moi. I just want to take my rest. Well, I'm at that point. See, I'll have set my record of getting profit every day, so I'll not be worried about a TO. I have a certain time of making money from 3 to 12. That's the point that I'm supposed to make money. In between, the other time I can be sleeping and doing other things. I can be relaxing, since I'm also into mandatory leave, mandatory break, and mandatory rest. So yeah, that's that. I'm back at town. It's been a hell of a journey. Yeah, by the way, I have passed Michinda, but I used to take a journey from, you can see, I don't know, the school is not visible from my end. It's completely not. So I'll have access to. I used to by the way come to school from here to home. It's almost about 5-10 kilometers. In fact, 5. It's almost 5 kilometers. Yeah. By that time I was small. I was very small. I'm dogo. I was 5. I was 6, 7, 8 years old or something like that. I used to travel 5 kilometers to access the school. I'm grateful that school trained me to be number one. Trained me. There's an aspect of me that has been trained just because of Michinda High School. Michinda. Yeah, it's Michinda. Oh, it's primary school. It's primary school. So yeah, I'm done with the video, by the way. I needed to walk and record this. So I think I'm done. Remember, if it can be shaken, it can be moved. Until another day, I'm not sure about it. Adios.